What if one camera, one skill, and one decision could completely change the way you make money, build community, and show up in the world? Today's conversation goes way beyond video. We talk about leverage, pricing your value, avoiding burnout, and how authenticity can actually turn attention into income. My name is Billy Thomas, and I'm going to be your host today for the Finding Joy podcast. And I'd like to introduce you to my creative director, Mr. Austin Roberts.
Yeah, so like you said, I appreciate the little intro there. And so my name is Austin Roberts. I run a creative agency, a marketing agency here in Las Vegas, called Make It Better Media. Um, I'll tell you where that name came from maybe in a minute. But I work with people. I work with entrepreneurs, coaches, people that are growing their audience, their business, that sort of thing, and helping them leverage video, because video is the highest leverage medium that we have right now because you can do so much with it. And I found out a couple years ago that like I'm pretty good at it. And so taking it and running with it has gotten me into a lot of interesting rooms that I don't know if I would have been able to get into otherwise, and meet some really cool people. I mean, like yourself, like I like people. I like connecting with people, and this has been a way that I can kind of do both. It's pretty cool.
Cool. So, when you say shooting videos, just to give people a little bit more detail, are you doing weddings? Are you doing YouTube?
No,
Like what?
it's a good question. So I've done kind of a little of everything. So
Okay.
I I don't know how long ago this was. So probably when my wife and I were first married, there was a Christmas where she was like, "We should get a camera," and I thought, I don't want to spend money on a camera. Like, I grew up. I remember the Christmas that my parents gave me this Canon PowerShot camera. I was probably 12 or 13, and I used it all the time. But
Okay.
like, video wasn't really a thing. It was just photos, you know? I still remember the very first photo that I took Christmas morning, like outside. It was like a really, really close-up picture of one of the lights on the house, like the Christmas lights.
Okay.
And that wasn't answering your question, but I'm getting to it. um, so like over the years, like it's kind of evolved. Like I have shot weddings, and
Mhm.
weddings are really cool, very rewarding, but also very high stress, especially when you're trying to do everything yourself, which sometimes is a terrible idea,
Yeah, I
depending on the size of the wedding and stuff.
bet.
But I'm fairly new to YouTube. I've done a handful of YouTube videos.
Mhm.
Um, I say I'm new to YouTube because I'm still learning. It feels like that platform is changing all the time.
Yes.
And so yeah, so like I've done quite a few. I've probably done close to 100 YouTube videos for other people at this point.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, just learning everything. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But like my bread and butter, like the team that I have, like we pump out short form content all day, every day. Like that's for right now, that's the bread and butter because that seems to be, or that is what is popular and what's moving people forward and that sort of thing, because you can get in front of a lot of people really quickly.
No, that's cool. How big is your team, if you don't mind me asking?
So now I've got me. I have a photographer that I use for houses, and well, I have two photographers. One that I use for houses, one that I use for automotive stuff. Um,
Ah,
and then I've got I have 5 editors now. I've had this past year, I've done lots and lots of hunting and finding and hiring and firing, and, so,
okay.
yeah, so currently I've got 5 editors, yeah.
Now, so it was funny, I had a conversation with my accountant, we're going through, like, the contractors and the what, and I'm like, yeah, that one, we're gonna need a 1099," and they're like, "Well, what about this one?" I'm like, "Well, they're in the Philippines." "Well, what about this one?" They're in Uruguay." "Well, what about this one?" "They're in India." And,
Yeah.
so I just gotta ask you because 'cause I'm curious, are your editors, are they in the US? Are they around the world? Is it a combination?
Yeah, so it's a combination. So my main
Okay.
editor is in California.
Okay.
It is, I mean, he is fantastic, but he's also expensive. But for certain
Sure.
projects or certain clients that I have, I want him to handle as much as I can because it's less on my plate, less on my in my brain.
Mhm.
And then I've got one in the Phil, or I've no, I have three. Nope, sorry. See, it's changed so much. I gotta remember. I've got one in the Philippines, two in Thailand. That actually, what's funny is the two in Thailand just got married, and I met them
Oh,
both separately through the internet about a year apart. Anyway,
okay.
totally crazy. And then I've got one in Argentina. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So
That's fun.
Argentina, Philippines, two in Thailand, and then one in California. I had another one in
Oh,
Oregon, but things didn't work out. So yeah.
yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, you gotta sift through and
Yeah.
find the good ones. That's good.
Yeah.
Do you have, like, a framework for finding good people, for hiring?
I'm pretty simple. I know that I could tighten it up in terms of like, here's how we do it, here's what I'm expecting, sort of a thing. So a lot
Yeah.
of the times, because you probably get them too, is you'll get DMs or like the ones that are in the request section on
Yeah.
Instagram,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they'll say, "Hey, let me make you a video for free or whatever." And it's like,
Mhm.
and some of them, I'll try them out, and, like, and I'll pay
Yeah.
them, like, I make sure that it's clear, it's like, "Hey, I have this raw footage, I'm open to paying you, I wanna give you very minimal direction, and if you can produce
Yes.
something within a certain period of time, and it's pretty solid, and I don't have to correct a lot, then, like, cool, like, let's go to stage 2 where I'll give you either my content to edit, like, that I want on my page, or
Yeah.
I'll give you a smaller project that we're either ahead on, so it's not a huge deal if it doesn't work, or,
Mhm.
um, yeah, and then just kinda try them out. I mean,
No, that's
it sucks
good.
because I'm putting a little bit of money out there, but that way I can test it versus hiring them through an agency or through, like, Upwork, because then
Yes.
I don't know, those can be great, and I've found great people through there. I
Yes.
actually found my tax lady through Upwork, and she's somehow
Yeah.
is local, but anyway, um, but yeah,
No,
that's probably the
but
best way to go about it.
there's an unlock there for somebody that's watching. I've used Upwork as well, and I have some long-term relationships that developed out of Upwork. But for those of you that may not know, you go to Upwork.com and you can literally search for certain skill sets, or you can actually say, "I have this project," and have people bid on the project to do it for completion. The very first person I hired on Upwork, I put basically a vague task like you just demonstrated, and this guy worked all weekend long to pump it out and have it to me, like, for Monday morning, and I didn't even need it or ask that. And he asked all these clarifying questions, like, "Okay," and it's been 10 years, that we've, had a
Whoa.
relationship and worked together. So, we're more strategic partners now than, like, Upwork, just contractor type of thing. But yeah, it started off with, the guy just showed up and did an incredible job, and for those of you that might be watching that are on Upwork, man, over deliver, right? Over deliver because you don't know who you're working for and where it might go.
Yeah, that's perfect. And the other thing with Upwork, or really in general, is those that can over communicate with me.
Mhm.
It makes my side so much easier. So I'm not always the best communicator. Like um, this is actually something I'm actively working on, is just over communicating, because I don't want to assume people know where I want to go or that sort of thing. And so those that can communicate with me, even hitting me up, it's like, "Hey, did you review this? Hey, have you checked my revisions?" Or I'm uploading the changes or whatever. Something as simple as that, because it's bumping it to the top of my inbox constantly, is a huge help. Can I ask you a question about something that you said though?
Sure.
So you had mentioned, excuse me, you had mentioned a strategic partner. So
Yes.
I've got a client, and he says that a lot in terms of like, stop looking at things as like a freelancer or a whatever, and start looking at more of as a strategic partner. So if somebody was looking to become a strategic partner with one of their clients, or somebody in an industry that they're trying to go towards, like, because you have this experience with this guy, what is it that kind of evolved into that strategic partner?
Yeah. No, no, really good. I mean, faithful in small, faithful in much, right? And so it started off very small. He was basically a freelancer who started his own company, and then just a proven track record of delivery. Right, and that's how a strategic, and even when I think of my Fortune 500 clients, it that's the framework. It's like go in and
Mm,
over deliver, right? Be a person of your word. Uh, it's don't be thinking about clocking in and clocking out. You have to think about what value are you actually bringing to the people that are paying you, because at the end of the day, if they don't see the value, they're not coming back.
mm,
And so
that's smart.
it it does it does mean, if somebody comes in and says I'm really busy, and they work 12 hours and all they did is stare at their screen all day, but they
Yep.
didn't produce something, they didn't
Right.
create something, they didn't come up with a product at the end of that. Like it's like you didn't come to work.
Right.
And I know and I don't want to. It's not that like some days we don't get stuck, and it's not like some days we don't have to work on something to get over the hump. But the value is in the outcome, not in staring at the screen, so to speak.
No, that's smart. So I've got one more question along that same line because that was so good. So, what would is there a difference between over delivering and have you heard of the term scope creep?
Yes.
So, is what is the difference between the two? Because I've tried to mess with both sides of that, and I don't know if I have a good answer. So,
No, 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 it's good. I think scope creep is something that happens when people try to take advantage of a relationship, where over
mm,
delivering is more of a servant's heart and attitude and an investment in a relationship.
mm,
And I've been on both sides of that. So I've been both the customer and I've been the consultant doing the work. And
mhm,
as a consulting team, the only place I get maybe crazy about scope creep is if I think they're trying to take advantage of my team.
mm,
And but also I've never shied away from, hey, if I've got some slack, or in other words, I've got some resources that aren't completely fully utilized, I'll take stuff that wasn't in the statement of work. Like,
for sure.
yeah, absolutely. Because again, I want to leave every customer I work with this, like, they did more than they said they would do. Or, they were quicker, or they brought more value than I paid. And
Mm.
so, I want to feel like they underpaid.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
over
yeah.
not overpaid so that they keep coming back.
No, that's smart. That's a good differentiation because even with people because you're right, I've been on both sides as well. Like, if I'm gonna talk about, like, people that I'm looking to be editors, like, I do wanna work with those that can't take those liberties just a little bit further without me
Mhm,
having to,
mhm.
like, spell it out exactly, but also not too
Yes.
far where they're spending so much time to where now that's this new expectation that we've both kind of subconsciously agreed on, right? And so,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's smart. I like that.
I've got well, he's a nephew and a partner in my firm that he'll say, "You gotta have the guy or gal that can insert brain here."
Oh, yeah. I like that.
Right? But it's that the problem solving, it's the critical
Mhm.
thinking skill, right? It's being able to look at something and go, I can or I will figure this out because it needs to be figured out in the context of the project, the task, the outcome that's desired.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
I love that.
Um, so I'm gonna grab a prop here. Let's see if it'll reach. All right.
Oh, yeah.
So like, okay, so somebody invests, they have one of these, and they want to make money. Like, what do I charge for? How do I charge? How much is it worth? Like, how do I make money with one of these guys?
Um, if so in terms of somebody that would be helping, like, create the content for somebody?
Yeah, like let's
Uh,
talk about so I think it's cool that you're making money making videos.
mhm.
And what would you say the barrier to entry is? It huge, right? Or get a camera and start in some some training and you could start making money? Like, what's the like? How? Like, let's say somebody wants to get into this. Like,
Yeah, so I would
is it
say that,
possible?
oh, it's 100% possible, and
Okay.
what's crazy is that, like, I'll meet kids that are significantly younger than I am, and they are way better at making, visually the content, like, it looks way better than anything that I make or my team makes. The
Wow.
difference is that just because it looks good doesn't mean it'll do anything for the client, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
if somebody's got a
Mm-hmm.
camera, they want to do something, then there's two ways that I would go about it. Before even buying a camera, is like for me, one of the things that's made me the most money is networking. Like I have an advantage because
Mm.
I grew up here in Las Vegas, but and so did my wife, and so she runs into people all the time that we know or knew or went to school with as kids or whatever. So networking can be huge. Um, and a lot of times just getting in the door with anybody and so that you have something
Mm.
to show. So I'll tell you a very quick story. So
Yeah.
this was probably 2018 or 2019. I wanted to see if I could, I thought that getting into the, like taking photos and videos of real estate would be a good way to go. I hated it, but this was kind of my foot in the door. So I didn't really know a lot of realtors at the time, but I knew that one of my wife's, classmates that she went to high school with was a realtor and was doing pretty well. And so I messaged him and made up this lie. I was like, "Hey man, I was supposed to show this house to these people and I lost all my footage and all my photos. Do you have an empty house that I can go photograph? You can have the photos. I just need something to show these people." And so he goes, "Yeah, I've got this house. It's actually pretty close to you." So I went and I took pictures of this house. I had no idea what I was doing. I was making it up as I went and doing
Okay.
really simple things that were like really obvious mistakes. Like it was a pretty big house and I was photographing the living room and I kept moving the camera and my camera bag, but I wasn't realizing because I was so anxious that my camera bag was in every shot. I wasn't moving the camera bag behind me. It was so, but that got me in the door with
Mm-hmm.
that guy. We never ended up working together, but I had proof that I could do this thing, and he got something
Yeah.
out of it, right? I'm not I'm not always a proponent of, "Oh, do a bunch of free work until you get some business." Like that doesn't real I don't really like that. Like do something once for somebody, provide something in exchange so that you
Mm-hmm.
can get your foot in the door to do the next thing. Cuz
Okay.
like one of the rules is like we don't work for free. We if we're going to give charity, we choose the charity that we're going to provide because we've done so
Yeah.
well in some other area, right? So
Nice.
that's a funny story that I forgot about till just now. That would be one of the first ways. The other thing would be like go to local events, like car meetups are big around here. So go film people's cars, go film them something while their car is parked. See if you can get their contact info so you can send them the video or the photos or whatever. Like it's a really easy way to get their contact
Ooh,
info.
that's good. That's good.
Do that a couple times, do and just so you can get it to them. If you are able to go to I'm also a big fan of conferences. So,
Okay.
I'm not in the peptide world. My wife is, and there was a peptide conference in town, and I said we should go. I'll come with you. I'll bring a camera, and we'll film stuff. And people want to come talk to you. She's like, "Well, I don't want to be on camera," and I was like, "I don't care. We're gonna go and do this anyway." So I was the only one there that had a camera in this conference because, like, you and I go to conferences, and they're everywhere, right? Somebody's
Oh,
got an
wow,
entourage.
yes.
You got it,
Yes.
and like so the reason I bring that up is because it got me in front of other people to talk to because they wanted to see what is this guy filming this pretty girl at this conference? What is this?
Yeah.
People started coming up to us and talking to us. Like it got me connections just by having a camera. So
I love it.
you know, I don't always say go out and buy the latest and greatest because most of the time you don't know how to use it. Buy something that you can afford and set a goal for, okay, this cost me $1,000. Let's say it cost me 1,500 bucks for the camera and the lens. I know now that I have 6 months or I have 8 months or 9 months to make that money back. So that's your first goal is how can you make that money back so that your investment into this is nothing but just your time, right? And
Yeah.
so you can do that. And I've DM'd people on Instagram to see if they want to work together, and sometimes it works out, and sometimes it doesn't. But I also
Yeah.
I'm not robotic either. Um,
Sure.
yeah, so I would say networking, showing people that you can do what you do, and getting their info. If you can do those three things, like it's pretty awesome what happens.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Now,
Oh wait,
how do
last
you
thing.
know?
And
Oh yeah.
oh go ahead. You just got to be human. Like if you can talk to people even semi effectively, it is I mean it's a huge differentiator. Just because you can be great behind the camera doesn't mean that it will always bring you work, but if you can do pretty good and communicate and build a relationship, that's significantly more valuable.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I love that. So how do you know what to charge?
Oh gosh, that's tough. That's tough.
Right?
Yeah. So I have a rule of thumb with that. So anytime that I
Mhm.
offer something new, for every 3 yeses that I get, the price increases. So
Mm.
it could increase by $50, $1,000. It kind of depends what it is.
Okay.
I don't subscribe to like industry standards. It's like if it's a project that to me I want to do it and do it right, and it's gonna be a large chunk of change. Like that's what I'm gonna propose. So um, I got contacted by a company that was doing a trade show here, and they were like, "Oh, we want to have photo and video, and we want it to be edited at the booth while we're there, so we can post it while we're there." And I go, "Perfect. That sounds cool. That's very expensive in my brain, you know." So it's like, all right, this
Yes.
is a two-person job. One person's photo and video. The other person is getting kicked all the footage so that they can
Mhm.
edit that right away. And I didn't know until later because I sent over like a rough bid and the outline. I was the highest bid. I overshot it by like according to this lady, I was the most expensive by like $8,000. Like I was
Okay.
everybody else was around the same thing and I was like way higher. And old me would have been bummed that like, oh, I didn't get it because I'm too dumb. I didn't know what I was doing. But for me, I was like, well, no, no way. Like I would have done it right. I knew who I would have
Yes.
had come with me, and it would have
Yes.
been fantastic. And if they would have said yes to that, then that makes my decision for me. If I was going to do it for less than that, I would have hated every second of it.
That's so good. I think there's a
Yeah.
principle there. I've talked to a lot of people about this. It's like, don't sign up for something for a price that's less than what you're going to be delighted to do it for.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
and
Mm.
and you can use that to get out of stuff as well. So I'll
Oh, for sure.
explain. I'll explain.
Yeah.
So I was a worship leader for a while of actually about 10 years. And so I could play piano. But I wasn't classically trained, but I could do worship songs. I could do church stuff just fine. But I started getting asked to do weddings.
Mm.
Well, weddings take up a whole weekend. Plus, they want you to learn all their songs, right? They're
Yeah.
like, "Well, here's the list of songs we want you to play, right, at the wedding and whatnot." And I started telling people like it was $1,000 because I it I was not gonna be happy doing it unless it was that much, and I never did another wedding, but
Yeah.
but it wasn't my bread and butter, and I was already working full time, and I was a worship leader on the side. And the last thing I really wanted to do was a wedding. And so I would have had a different approach if that was my core business. I would have figured out, well, what is, from a pricing standpoint, what does the market charge? Is that something that I'm willing and able to do? Blah, 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 blah. But for me, pricing just became an opt out uh, type of thing. And had somebody said $1,000, I would have been like, okay, well, I'm going to probably lose this weekend, but I'm going to take my wife to a really nice restaurant with $1,000.
Yeah, yeah. Well, because that's what you said is it's so right because it's like using pricing as a tool to help you make your decisions, right? Because like I've had
Mm,
projects that show up and they're like, "Hey, we want to do this." Anytime that they say we just want this, usually that's like let's dive a little deeper because when you say just this, it usually means cheap. Nope, not
yes.
a fan of that.
Nope.
Um, but, like, because when you give the pricing, it's like, "Hey, while this is internal dialogue, this isn't necessarily what you're telling the client, but, like, I'm not super excited about this, but I would be excited, and I know that we could crush it at this price point. If
Yes.
if they jump on that, well, it's made your decision for you. If they say no, well, then it's just drudgery, and you're just trying to get it done to get it done, and I don't like
Absolutely.
those. Like, you asked
No,
me about
no.
weddings. The first wedding I ever did, I charged $800. I had a second shooter. I borrowed gear from a friend of mine that like I had
Mm.
so much gear. I was figuring it out as I went. And when it came time for like them to pay, I had to fight for that $800. And I was
Right.
like, never
Yeah.
again am I doing that. And so I
No.
had a couple other weddings that were more expensive. And then I remember I got approached to do one out in like North Carolina. And it was like,
Oh,
oh, I would absolutely love to do that. But travel and everything, like it starts at 8 grand. Like that's where we
yeah.
start. And if that's cool, then we can keep talking. But if that's a
Yes.
no-go, that is okay. That's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
So
No, that
yeah.
that that's really good. We have a little phrase, that we use too, in that when people pay, they pay attention.
Oh yeah.
And I had a strategic meeting this week with, one of my partners, and he was complaining about the client not listening, to, the good advice that he was giving them. And, I just dropped that bombshell, and I'm like, "Dude, you did not charge enough." Because had you charged them more, they would be paying attention. And but anyhow, so he and I both have about 30 years of experience in this industry, and I'm like, dude, I'm not doing a risk partner role for less than 100 grand ever, because it needs to be at an executive level, because these are the things that literally impact the company. Like, these projects, if they don't go right, and you don't get listened to, and they take your advice, things don't ship to the customers, things don't get produced in the factories, people don't get paid. It's a bad deal for business. And but he was taking notes, because he's like, that's exactly right. He's like, I didn't charge them enough. They didn't put enough weight and value on the advice, because they hadn't paid enough for it.
Mhm.
That's wild.
Yep.
It is. It is.
Yep.
It's very wild. So
Yeah.
do you help people make money with your stuff?
Yeah.
And how does
Yeah, yeah,
and how
yeah.
does that work? So walk me through that, because this is, you're more than a cost center. I feel like.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like
Okay.
in the beginning it was my team and I can make you awesome videos that will get you lots of eyeballs. And we still do that, but
Okay.
it's transitioned a little bit more to be more of what you had mentioned, like more of a strategic partner. So
Hmm.
like for example, I've got a client, he's in commercial real estate, does really well, he is great at what he does. Like he's a great example of like being able to network and finding the right people and taking care of them and running a great business off of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we'll take him as an example. um there's a possibility that we're building him like a group for other commercial brokers to kind of see how he does things, how to run a business effectively, how to do kind of not traditional marketing, because the commercial real estate space specifically seems to be, and this is rude, seems to be for old people. Like it's kind of a good old boys club still, and like
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you got to have some
if
money to buy commercial
yeah.
real estate too. Yeah. Yeah. You got to have some money. Okay. Yeah.
Because like if newspapers were as popular as they used to be, like they'd probably just advertise in the
Yeah.
classified section. But he's done a great job with like being consistent online, and it's brought him pretty big deals. So there isn't always a super straight line from this video created this amount of money. But like
Hmm.
he sent me a voice message the other day that there's a local, like I had created a video for him the other day talking about how like the Las Vegas landscape is changing in terms of like the adult industry isn't as big as it used to be, and what are those
Yeah.
buildings changing into. And that video went wild, and it wasn't crazy highly produced or anything like that. It was just we were able to grab the attention of the viewer, and it grabbed the
Mhm.
attention of local news stations that want to talk to him about what he sees happening with the Las Vegas market. And
Nice.
because it's potentially bringing him investors that want to build like fitness centers or pickleball clubs or things like that, where these
Yes.
old these old adult playgrounds are
Yes.
are
Yes.
just
There's,
nobody's in there. I've
yeah.
got there's other ways that it happens. Like I have another client where this one's a little bit more of a direct line. This is actually where I see your freedom award in the back, and I forgot to put mine up. But it was it was a YouTube video about a classic cars that they restore, Alfa Romeos specifically, and that video went crazy, and it got attention of a lot of people that wanted to hire them to restore their cars. It also got them in front of other partners that they could use their products with inside of their builds and that sort of thing. And so,
Yeah.
while I don't know the exact number, like it brought them multiple six figures in about, I think it was 10 to 12 days. So that one's a little bit more of a direct line. So getting attention and
Hey.
turning it into revenue is one way that we do it. Another thing that I've been doing, kind of on a smaller scale, is helping entrepreneurs, business owners that run a good business and are good people. That's the differentiator, right?
Yes,
Um,
yes.
to to build coaching groups or coaching programs, or
Mhm.
stuff like that, for a
Mhm.
little bit higher net worth people that want to skip over all the heartache, and kind of like what you're doing on the business
Yeah.
side.
No, it's good.
Yeah,
That's really good. Yeah, I think that's important that when you can demonstrate value to create money. In other words, so if somebody pays you $100 and you can get them 1,000, they're just gonna keep coming back. I mean, that's just good. That's it. That mileage is gonna print you money, right? It's like, hey, yeah, give me $100 and you get 1,000. Like I would trade that all day, every day.
yeah,
That's a good
yeah,
trade.
yeah,
That's a good trade.
yeah, yeah. That ROI, that just, that we love that smell of ROI. Yeah,
Yes, we do. We do. We
yeah.
do. So do you love what you do? Like, do you get joy out of doing this?
I do. I mean, it always ebbs and flows a little bit, right? But
Sure,
um
sure.
the the two, because I was thinking about this morning, and the two main things that I love is being able to create things. I love creating, I love building things. So, like, we recently sold a couple of cars that we have, and bought an older car, like, for the family, because
Yeah.
I want to build it together, and like my kids are helping
Okay.
me work on it, and um yeah, and that sort of thing, and but also helping other people build their communities and build their businesses while I'm building my own. Like, that's fun. Like, that I really do
That's
enjoy,
cool.
because you have all these little problems you got to figure out, like who does what and how does it fit in. Like, that part I really do enjoy. The other part that I love is when I can create content that evokes either an action or some sort of emotion on the other end of the lens, right? Like, I think that is a very interesting skill that not a lot of people have, or that's it, for me anyway, has been something that I've been working on, is like, can I tell a story that people want to listen to, that has some sort of an
Mhm.
emotion that I can get from other people? Like, those are more, at least right now, like passion projects or videos that I create. But those are probably the two things that I love. And then, as kind of um an auxiliary to that, is being able to meet and connect with people. That part, I love that part. I love
That's
connecting with
cool.
people. I love seeing what they have going on and being excited for them. Like, my wife is a great example. Like, I refer to her as like the cheerleader in my life,
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
I'm kind of cheating, because she was a cheerleader in college when I met her. So, like, like,
That's fun.
that's right. But
That's fun. My wife also a cheerleader, so that's awesome.
nice.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you get it,
Yeah, yeah. I know
and
all the cheers because I was
yeah.
watching, so.
Yeah, yeah. And being other people's cheerleaders, because, like, while I am
Yeah.
competitive, like, I want people, at least in my circle, and the people I'm working with, to win. And so
Mhm.
those are, three or four of the areas that, like, I would say bring me joy in doing this stuff. Even the late nights, while they suck sometimes, like, it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's good. Do you have a dream job, like, that's something different, or you're pretty much living the dream? Like, if money
Um,
was not an object, you've got, like, 200 million in the bank and you're good. Like, would you still do this?
man, I don't I think I would do some form of it, yeah. I think
Yeah.
probably on, like, a higher scale.
Mhm.
Um, I've always thought that, have you ever watched that show Top Gear? Like, the English one where it's those 3 guys? It's
Uh,
over, but
I think I may have seen some stuff on, do they do a YouTube as well?
they used to. Well, so Amazon Prime bought them after some stuff happened with the BBC. But, like,
Okay. It
from
sounds
what I
familiar.
understand, like, they're just 3 dudes that review cars and go on adventures, like,
Okay. Okay.
To me, that would be just the coolest. I so my dream job, I would be something in the middle between, like, a Top Gear thing where we get to play with cars and that sort of thing while documenting it, and I've got 3 younger brothers, and, like, if all 4 of us could do that together, like, that would probably be the dream to just do together all the time.
Gotcha.
I
That's
don't know if I
cool.
put that together until I said it as we're talking here, but yeah.
Hey, my dreams change. I mean,
Yeah.
I've had many dreams come true. I've had some dreams that turned into nightmares.
Oh, yeah.
I've had to learn to redream, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's real, but it's fun for me to hear what people's dreams are, and to me, that's I mean, that's kind of is part of being alive. And a good part, at least in my mind, of life is having dreams, having hopes and aspirations, things that you like to do. People ask me, I'm 56 now. They're like, "Why are you When are you retiring?" I'm like, I'm not retiring. Far as I know, I could live to be 120, and if I can work to 120, I will. Only because uh, I like what I do.
Mm.
Like I like what I do. And when I find myself in a position where I'm not liking what I do, it's either an attitude check or it's time to do something different.
Mm.
And leverage the same, some of my skills, but do it in a different way. And to make it more fresh, to make it more appealing, more appetizing, I guess, for this season.
So I love what you said there, and I've got a question for you then. How important would you say it is to dream? Because I this has come up for me very recently, and so I have an answer for this. But
Yeah.
like in your,
Yeah,
I mean, maybe if not necessarily part of your routine, but like should somebody that wants to be successful take time to dream?
absolutely. Yeah, there's actually a Bible verse that I think of that says, "A people without a vision or a dream, they perish."
Mm,
And to me, not having a dream is not having hope. It's a form of
mm,
hope. It's like this forward projection of something good that you would get to, that you'll get to, or that you have the potential to get to. And on my coaching call today, I brought out my list of 2026 goals, right? And you might call them mini dreams. They're things that I want to see happen. It's the hopeful things that I have for 2026, and none of them were like this big, huge dream type thing, but each one of them represents a little some hope, hope in the area of fitness and faith and business and so I am a huge proponent of dreaming. And if when I when I see people that don't have a dream, I see sadness. I see um I'm not lethargic,
yeah, yeah.
lethargy. I don't
Lethargy.
know what the
Yeah,
right. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But there's no motivation to spur action, maybe.
Mm,
And it's almost like a loss of love of life when you don't have a dream. But
mm.
I'm still working that out though, figuring it out.
No, I think that that's awesome. So, the reason that that's come up for me, and I'm glad that you even mentioned that, is because a couple months ago, my wife was approached with a pretty what I thought was a very interesting and very cool business opportunity, but it would require us to move.
Mm,
And it just it wasn't a good fit, and that's okay. But I remember being frustrated at the end, and I couldn't figure out why until we talked about it later. And it was what you had said. I was like, "Well, why couldn't we just dream about it for a second? It doesn't have to come, but, like,
yeah.
at least let's try it on for a second." Like, that's where
Yes.
I think it could work. And so, one of our goals together is to have more fun and to dream more together. And so we can
That's awesome.
try on these things and see if it's a place that we wanna go. So, like, just the other night, I found this website where you can find, French properties for sale, like, in, like, the south of France. So we sat
Really?
up together for, like, 2 hours and just looked at these chateaus and old castles and stuff like that, and ones that, like, if we wanted to go and do that, like, we could buy it and we could go. I mean, we're not going to, but, like,
Yeah.
we dreamt for a second, like, we could do this and, like, our kids could go here, and because why not? Like, it even if it doesn't come to fruition, that's kinda not the point always, right? Like, it's just
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
it's to flex your creative muscle.
Abs-
we have all these other muscles. Uh,
Absolutely. No. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's really good. Um, yeah. I mean, I think a lot about dreams and even the idea of hope, and in the realm of faith, there's a place where all the things that are promised, they're on the other side. They're on the
Yeah,
other
yeah,
side of the
yeah.
they're on the other side of the rainbow, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so, having faith and is almost like, it's like dreaming. It's like
Right,
this that, and I'm a Jesus follower. And so for me, there's the dream, the faith, the hope that one day you won't log into the news channel and see the horror of what's happening in the world around you. You'll be in like a literal utopia, like a heaven, a
right.
place where you don't have to worry, you don't have to lock your door, you don't have to. There's no sickness, there's no sadness. I mean, that's like the ultimate dream. But
Right, right.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, but in the meantime, we have these dreams and hopes, and the older I get, the more fun it is for me to dream and help others people's dreams come true. That's part like one of my dreams is, or visions is, I've seen so I'm so blessed to have so many of my dreams come true. I'm like, "Oh, I wonder if I could help others achieve theirs." And so that's a big kicker for me right now. It's like, "Okay, this is cool. Let's see if we could help somebody achieve their dreams."
So what do you have going on now that's got you excited to, like, help other people achieve their dreams?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you talked about it a little bit, but just being more intentional about getting into coaching,
Mm,
and doing group coaching, because I do have a limited time set. So I have a Fortune 500 consulting company, and as much as it would be nice to do one on one, I think I can have a much bigger impact by doing group coaching. And
mm.
so I've started right now. It's called Work Smarter, Not Harder.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've got a group call that I do once a week with folks, and I help them with business planning. But in essence, I'm trying to help them achieve their dreams, right? And my specific spin on it is to help people maximize their earning potential
Mm,
without wrecking their life or their soul, right? And so
mm,
it's not money at any cost. There are things that are worse than not having money, but whether it's church work, whether you're trying to be generous, like whether you're trying to feed the poor, you can't do anything without money. And so that's why,
mhm,
I think, even in the Bible, I think Jesus talked about more than anything was money. Money was a huge topic because it's just necessary. And so I've made it part of my mission, my job, my vision to help as many people as I can maximize their earning potential, but do it in a way that doesn't kill their marriage, that their kids still know who they are, that they don't trade their integrity uh, to for some magic number that they think is going to satisfy them at the end of the day, because it won't. And
mhm.
so that's one of the tangible ways that I'm trying to help.
That's cool. So when you talk about all those things, are does that come up for you because you've had to experience those and, like, now you're realizing that, like, there's a better way to do it and you wanna share it with other people? Is that where that comes from?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's like if I ever went to even to, like, let's say Colorado, and I wanted to go elk hunting, which I don't do
Mhm,
much hunting anymore, but I grew up doing a lot of it. But I know for sure I would want a guide.
mm,
Like, what land am I allowed to get on? Where, I don't wanna walk on somebody's land and get shot. What are the what kind of gun or archery equipment can I use? What's legal? Like there's so many things, and I could spend 5 years, trying to figure out and make sure, and then I wouldn't know what I wouldn't know, or I could be, I could hire a guy that's been out there doing it 20 or 30 years. He knows the ropes. He's like, yeah. You pay
Right.
this small amount of money, and I'll save you 5 years of research and investigation. And that's what I'm hoping from a coaching standpoint. So now, having been a consultant for 30 years, having run my own business, helping my wife with her business, um, that I might be able to, sort of give people back their time from having to do all the research. And I found out a couple of things. Even with it, you can give somebody a piece of paper that says this is exactly what you need to do, step
Hmm.
by step with pictures. But and I've been there myself.
Mm.
I still have questions. I'm like, you said to do this, but like, really? Like,
Yeah.
is there a typo there? Is that what, what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
I have a question. And so you don't get that with like an online course or a textbook. The ability to ask a question, to say, how does this apply to me? And the other thing with a coach, at least from me, from a coaching standpoint, I have a vested interest in the win for my
Mm,
people. In other words, I have zero interest in, quote unquote, taking somebody's money for the sake of taking their money.
mm,
If I don't, if, and that's what, like you were talking about the Freedom Award. So I paid a good amount of money. Well, I'll just say it, $19,000 to be part of a coaching program. That award comes when the investment that I made comes back in the form of monetarily to me. It comes back at to me. I've 3 or 4x'd my investment in 4 months, right?
mm, sweet.
And so, and and so that's exactly the way that I want to make sure that I show up and I over deliver for folks. If they're going to, when they invest to be part of my program,
Yeah,
I I I am I am vested in the outcome of their investment. In other words, I care if they win or not. I care.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, that's the way I think that's the way every business should be run, is that, if you care about your customers, they're going to talk about you in a good way. They're going to come back. They're going to recommend you to others. And, so yeah,
Plus, it makes it more fun, right? Like
it
being able
does.
to enjoy what you do and who you work with is it's a big deal. You should have more fun. Like that's just what's coming up because that's part of my goals this year is to try to have more fun with more. You
That's cool. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I have a logo for my business. It's called All Joy.
Mhm.
And for a while we were running a slogan that said, your data should make you smile.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, it was fun. Yeah. Um,
Oh,
so
because
what
yeah, there's a
about
lot of times
go
that data
no,
could
yeah.
make you frown. I love that actually. Imagine looking at data and you're like, wow, this is not what I wanted. That would,
This
yep.
is now.
Yeah, yeah. So I love that. I'd never heard that. I like that. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, uh, and I'm going to ask you about the frustrating parts of your job, because that part of why I created a logo around all joy and data that makes you smile is because of, I'll call it ignorance tax. People paying a very high cost for not understanding that their problem has already been solved. They just haven't either listened to the solution because somebody's told them, or they haven't talked to somebody who knows the solution, and that it can be overcome. And so, anyway, that's where I went with that. But one of the things I want to ask you is, like, what are some of the frustrating parts of your job? Things that grind. they,
Yeah, man, that's a good question. Because it's funny that you bring up like the ignorance tax because
mm,
there, that's a very real thing. But I think that there is a flip side to ignorance playing in your favor. Um,
mm,
probably doesn't but it happens a lot less often than in
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Um, so the frustrating parts would be mainly towards me. It isn't always with other people. It's
Mm,
usually how, and this has been a mindset shift for me. It's like, how can I be a better leader to be clearer so we have the kind of outcomes, or at least the progression that I want. So the frustrating part is mainly coming back at me because I'm either saying yes to too many things, or
mm,
I hand something off and it doesn't work the way that I anticipated, and maybe it was because that I didn't set the expectations, or things like that. So yeah, like, it is on other people at times, but if this is my company and I'm owning it and I'm the face of it and I'm in front of these customers, like, I gotta own more. That's actually another lesson that, like, my wife has helped me learn, because a, a lot of times it's just owning what it is that's going on and either fixing it or correcting it, whatever. So I would say probably that. That's so I'm frustrated with myself probably more often. And
okay.
the other part that's frustrating is because I work in a very visual world, right? Like, something that I
Yes.
create, even if it's got a lot of thought and planning and going into it, maybe it flops on the perspective of the other person.
Mm,
Like, that part can be frustrating because I might not view it that way because of whatever metrics we had set out previously. Like, we hit those, but the perceived result wasn't communicated, and then, even though it isn't necessarily on me, like, I feel like I need to correct it. So that's another thing, is like making sure that expectations and perspectives are as aligned as possible, because that's where a lot of frustration can show up.
yes.
um, where two different people are thinking that we're going down this same path, and then we stop and kind of regroup and we realize, oh, we are nowhere close. Like, where did we go wrong? Like, That's
Yes.
that's probably I know that that's a big one, because like, it's happened a few times, because it all comes down to communication and making sure that we're doing what we need to. So um, probably that and yeah, the other frustration would be that, like, there's so much talent out there. There's so much stuff that's
Mm,
amazing that, like, if I even though I work in the world of social media, if I stay on there too long, I can feel it start to kind of get me down, because I'm just looking at
oh,
all of this amazing stuff, and it's like, well, man, how do I get close to that? I mean, we do create amazing things, but it's always in
yes, you do.
comparison to something, right? So
Always,
that part's
always,
hard.
always. No,
Yeah,
it that is
yeah.
that
Yeah.
is that is. One thing I really liked what you said, and I love that you're taking responsibility for the culture of the thing that you've created and own.
Yeah.
And that's a grown up conversation though, because
Yeah.
I you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I can't tell you the number of people I've worked with that have created their own thing that hate it
Mhm,
and keep operating in it,
mhm.
not realizing that they are the founder. You know where I'm going with this? It's like
Yeah,
you this is your universe, right? If you
right.
don't like it, you can change it, but they feel like bound to whatever processes and whatever culture that they created instead of saying, no, let's take a step back and let's reimagine this in a way that works and that is joyful.
Yeah, I totally agree. But can I tell a quick story about this guy that I find
Please
amazing?
do. Please
So
do.
this is where, and I relate to this because I started doing this because I just decided to start doing it. It wasn't like I didn't jump out of the plane. Like, I had another job at the time, and I kind of transitioned because, like, I got enough wins where I was like, I can do this.
Mm,
So, but ignorance, and it's maybe not so much ignorance, but just starting before you're ready. Um,
yes.
have you ever heard of this guy? His name's Cliff Young. So
No.
I'll tell you the watered down version. So Cliff Young, I pulled it up because there's certain things I got to get right. Um, so Cliff Young he was an Australian sheep herder, and I don't know the
Mm,
backstory about why, but he decided to run like an ultra marathon, over 100 miles or something like that. And
yeah.
so
Crazy.
he decided to run, and he did very well. But because of his ignorance and because he started before he was 100% ready, he won as somebody who had never run that type of marathon before by 10 hours. It wasn't a couple
What?
minutes. He won by 10 hours. And it was because he didn't know that halfway through the race, everybody takes a break, they rest, they recover, and then they start again in the morning. And so he had the endurance because when he was a kid, he would herd these sheeps, or when he was younger, he would herd these sheep, not sheeps. He would herd these
I
sheep
gotcha.
from different parts of Australia, and he would have to take them hundreds of kilometers of miles. And so he had built up this endurance to where when it came time to run this marathon, he smoked everybody. And it was
That's awesome.
because he just didn't know, right? So
Yeah.
um, so yeah, I think that there is power in starting before you're ready, and a little bit of ignorance, maybe in the just beginning, right? Um, can be
Yes.
beneficial to you. Like if you don't know what everybody else is charging and you charge something that makes sense to you, well then, and people say yes, then okay, cool. Now you can build off of that.
Yes. That's good.
So
I
yeah,
like that. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, we had a little saying, and they actually put a little plaque on the wall of the little business I built, but it was let's jump in the water and build the boat.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Let's just jump in and we'll get the boat built.
yeah, yeah. I like that too.
It was fun. It was fun. So just kind of wrapping up at 2026, do you have dreams, goals? What do you want to what are you hoping for in 2026 that
Yeah, so I don't have specific like monetary goals yet. Those are currently being built. You can't see it, but I've got one of those big ass calendars in the corner over here.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
like it's
yeah,
got
yeah.
the whole year put together. But the yeah, man, because like you're talking about your dreams, like these goals are kind of shifting as I'm letting them settle into place, you know?
Yes, for
So
sure.
the last couple years have been great. This year this year I'm looking to double that from last year. And there's already a couple things that look like it could make it work a little bit sooner than I,
Nice.
I thought it would, which is great. But if I was going to have a main goal, the few that I have is to go deeper on YouTube, both with clients
Mm,
and with myself, because that one still seems very undervalued. The more that I learn about it,
yeah.
um, or maybe even underutilized
Mhm.
because I've just been in the world of short form content for so long. So going deeper into YouTube, and then the other big one is to help at least 4 people build their communities, whether that's coaching or whatever. And so right now I've got two, which I didn't think was going to happen, and so
That's awesome.
I've got to fill 2 more. And then I've been playing with the idea of doing my own community around
Mm,
like content and on let me start that over. I've been playing with the idea of building my own community around authenticity and content and going deeper with that versus just here's all of the very basic things that you need to do, and like let's do
mhm.
content reviews and like let's audit what you have and like let's build this together. And what's like I'm in a group that is a lot of around like why aren't you showing up in whatever capacity you want to? Like let's figure out what that is, because once you figure that out, then you can show up in whatever way you want. So, and just figuring out how content plays into all those things, because it's not going anywhere. I really enjoy that side of it. So,
Mhm.
um while those aren't concrete, those are kind of the floating ones that are kind of getting solidified as we go. So
No, I love it. That
yeah,
sounds
yeah,
great. That's
yeah,
good. So good.
yeah. Well, can I ask it back to you then? Like, I know that you've got a lot
Sure.
of moving things. Like, what's your? Well, let's do like Q1 and Q2 of this year. What does that look like in terms of goals instead of just a overarching one?
Yes, yeah, yeah. So I'm actually bringing mine up. So one of the things, and I did this on my coaching call today as I reviewed
Sweet.
some of my goals. But one of the first things that I just brought up with my team was the fact that my goals are definitely transcend business. And so I have them broken down. So there's faith goals, there's business
Mm,
goals, there's fitness goals, there's marriage and grandkid goals, and mind space goals.
sweet.
And yeah, and then so without getting into maybe just I'll just do some of the highlights. Um, One of the things from a faith standpoint, I watched the Amazon season of the House of David, which is
Oh
King
yeah,
David from the Bible, where he goes from a
yeah,
shepherd
yeah.
to a king to a king. One of the things I really liked about that is the guy just had spontaneous moments of worship or meditation. Like he would
Mm,
just he grabbed his heart and he would worship. And
nice.
so I've put down I want to do that 3 times a day. Just stop and think about God and his power, his be grateful, or just 3 times a day, just spontaneous. So
That's
I
cool.
made that I made that a goal from a faith standpoint. So my business, I want to see my inner circle grow to 10 this year. So I'm at 3, and so
Sweet.
we'll see where that goes. But I want 30 podcasts done this year and 10 teaching videos. So that's a pretty lofty goal.
Yeah.
And then I want to post on Facebook and Instagram 4 times a week and do all that while working less than 50 hours a week.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Now I still have a Fortune 500 company to run. I still I have
Yeah.
my Omar coach. So I might, but to do that I might have to hire somebody to do
Mm,
that. I'll have to be very strategic about what I say yes and no to. Um, Fitness, I want to trade 10 pounds of fat for 10 pounds of muscle, just straight up. Go back to, so
nice.
I got a DEXA scan baseline and I just want to
Sweet.
swap that out. Just want to
Love
swap it
that.
out. Uh, Marriage, let me just hit one here.
It's a really
Okay.
long one. No, just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, I want to be present by reducing my phone screen time down to less than 1.5 hours a day. So
Dang.
it's at 2 right
That's
now.
awesome. Okay, wow.
And that's one I won't say I'm not gonna say nag or gripes, but it's something that my wife will point out to me, and it's
Mm,
something I need to take action on.
I like that.
Uh, for the grandkids, I'm taking my 2 grandsons to a dang father-son retreat, even though I'm grandpa, but I can run. And you when I go to the Nerf wars, like I have laser sights. I have
That's cool.
I I have drone coverage. It's so yeah.
You have like
I'm
that thing that pops out and you can see the
yeah,
drone.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
And then for mind space, um, say no to good things that would distract me from my calling and goals.
Mm,
So there are a lot of good things that I get invited to. So of course, say no to the bad things, but also there are some good things I'm gonna have to say no to this year, and to
mm.
be able to focus and hit the things that are most important.
Dang. Dang, dude, that was really good. That was really good.
Thank you. Well,
Yeah.
and that's why the reason I shared them with the group is one is I'm a huge proponent of the balance of life
Mm,
needing to I shared it, but it's going to be a mantra of mine. It's like, yeah, I want to maximize my earning potential, but I want to be married like more.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But there's a tension between those two statements, right? Like
right.
my wife really likes to go to out to eat. We both really like to go on vacation. We both really like to buy. We love to be generous. We love to give to our kids and to grandkids. And so there's a tension between, you know, maximizing my income and balancing that with still having a life, still having you know, being present and being available for the people that, are on the other side of the income, so to
Yeah.
speak. So, yeah.
Oh, those are great. Those are really good. I gotta step mine up here. That was not that it's not that it's a competition, but I gotta dial these in a little
No.
bit more. Yeah. Yeah.
But that's the iron sharpens iron. I mean, every time, and for for the listeners, Austin and I are working together. So Austin's helping me as a creative director, and I'm trying to level up my my presence on a personal brand and on YouTube and my videos and Instagram and all of that. And Austin's doing a great job of helping me. And I will personally recommend if you're looking for that guy, he is your guy. And so, but
Thank you.
like every time we have a conversation, I do feel like it's the iron sharpens iron. I get a lot out of our relationship, out of our being just our conversations, and our
Yeah.
conversations bring clarity for me and the things that I need and want to do. And so I appreciate you.
No, I appreciate you even saying that. I mean, that's very accurate on my side too. So I want to talk. Well, I want to mention a few of the goals that you're talking about in terms of like posting online and YouTube and that sort of thing. Um, because like for anybody that's listening and sees your content, they will agree with me. Is that I don't. So because I've worked with a lot of people. Some people need a lot of direction and still can't take that direction, and it still feels like really, really awkward or whatever. But there is the way that you are able to show up through a camera is a bigger differentiator than you might
Mm,
think as of right now. So like
okay.
the videos that you and I go through together, or like even your webinar stuff, like you are very good at that, and it will only get better. So like your goal of what was it, 8 teaching videos, 10 teaching videos?
10 teaching videos and 30 podcasts.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if those teaching videos do well in terms of bringing you business, creating interactions. Maybe they don't get a ton of views necessarily, but I
Yeah.
would not be surprised if like the interaction is surprisingly high. Mainly because
Good.
that's what we talk about, right? It's like YouTube is a
Yeah.
is a way for people to lock into or to join into your world a little bit. And
Hmm.
I don't know, as I'm still figuring it out as we're talking about it, but the your presence online through a camera is very smooth, very able for people to click in and connect to without shoving it down their throat. So take that and like next as you record these videos and stuff like that, like that you just are a lot more natural than a lot of people, and that's a huge upside on for you because not everybody's like that. And just because you're good at what you do doesn't mean you can teach it. And I think you have both of those things.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the
Yeah.
encouragement. And yeah, I mean, I'm all in. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah. I love it. That's just I mean, it's great. These and like this is a great example of like these are the kind of people that I want to work with. It's those that are looking to grow. They are good people. They're not
Mm,
liars. I don't work with
hmm.
liars anymore because
That's
for
good.
a period of time I was the guy behind the scenes that was enhancing their lies, and I can't do that anymore. It's just too much.
Ah,
It's not,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
No,
So,
you just feel icky.
yeah.
You get
Yeah.
the ick. You get the ick.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's like they seem really simple, but those are big deals to me. And, so you're a great example of the avatar that I want to work with or that I am working with. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, same,
Yeah.
same. No, it's good. Well, hey, I want to thank you. I feel like we could talk for probably 2 or 3 more hours.
Same. Yeah.
And but I do have more meetings this afternoon, and I
Yeah.
know
Do your
I
thing.
want to be respectful of your time. And I'm not going to promise that there won't be another podcast with Austin on the Finding Joy
Yeah. Yeah.
podcast, and so we can always hit that up. But I like to close all of my podcasts with a quick prayer, and if you don't mind, I'll do that, and we'll shut her down
Yeah.
for
I'm
the
all for
day.
it. Yeah.
All
I'm all
right, let's
for it.
do it.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, Lord, I just thank you for today. I thank you for the opportunity to have this talk with Austin. I pray that our talk would be impactful to those that would watch it, that we might help someone achieve their dream. Pray a blessing over Austin and his family. In your name we pray. Amen.